Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Errol, the Managing Director at the Errol Family Foundation. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning for this very important announcement. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that traditionally, Oakville and Mississauga was a gathering place for many nations, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat people. I acknowledge we're meeting in an area covered by Treaty 13A, also known as the Head of the Lake Purchase, and I pay my respects to the Mississaugas of the Credit. At the Errol Family Foundation, our mission is to support initiatives that make a positive impact in areas such as food research, food security, and the transformation of food policy. One of our main priorities is advocating for a national healthy school food program for all Canadian children. Through our work, we aim to create lasting change and a brighter future for all. I would like to thank Minister Parsa, Minister Lecce, and the Government of Ontario for their collaboration and partnership on this project. I know that everyone here is looking forward to hearing more about today's announcement, so now I will turn it over to someone who we all know as a true advocate for improving the lives of children and youth in Ontario. I would like to welcome Minister Michael Parsa, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. You know, before I go any further, I'm not smiling for the cameras. I actually haven't stopped smiling all morning because of this announcement. It really is exciting and really is a pleasure to be here with all of you this morning. I'd like to start off by thanking Roman Spector, the General Manager here at Pathway Community Programs, and the entire team for the terrific work and for hosting us here this morning. And I have to tell you, it was so wonderful to meet Wendy, Nicole, Paul, Kath, and all the volunteers here in action this morning. For those of you who weren't inside and missed it, they taught both Minister Lecce and I how to pack the bags, and they were terrific, so please give them a round of applause. I also want to thank Catherine Parsonage and everyone at Student Nutrition Ontario for everything that you do. And thank you to the local community organizations and volunteers across the province for their dedication and efforts to support the healthy development of Ontario students. We all know that nutritious food is key to kids' health, but studies have also shown that it's also critical for academic performance. In Ontario, thanks to the Student Nutrition Program, over 1 million students have access to nutritious meals. The First Nation Student Nutrition Program operates at 145 sites across 63 First Nations and 27 urban Indigenous communities. This is why I'm thrilled to announce that our government is investing an additional $5 million this year to support the Student Nutrition Program and the First Nations Student Nutrition Program. And we're not stopping there. As many of you know, community partners have always been key to the success of the Student Nutrition Program. Donations from local businesses, community organizations, and the time and effort of countless volunteers are critical for the continuing operation of the program. To further support the program, we are launching the Healthy Students Brighter Ontario campaign by partnering with the Errol Family Foundation, the Breakfast Club of Canada, the Grocery Foundation, and the Shad Foundation, and the Student Nutrition Ontario. Together, these organizations have already raised an additional $1.67 million towards our shared goal of $10 million. Yes, they do deserve a great round of applause. $10 million, which includes the government's investments to support both student nutrition programs in Ontario. Thank you again to the partners and donors for believing in kids' futures. I am proud to share that this is the first province-wide partnership with community organizations to enhance school food programs. Over the coming weeks and months, the Healthy Students Brighter Ontario campaign partners will continue to work with local groups and businesses to encourage community involvement and fundraising. I would like to thank the Peter Gilligan Foundation, Maple Leaf Foods, and the Maple Leaf Centre for Action on Food Security, the Sprout Foundation, and the Honourable Margaret McCain for their very generous donations. The Healthy Students Brighter Ontario campaign is also a call action to all Ontarians to learn more about the program and to get involved. And you can get involved by visiting ontario.ca/Ontario Student Nutrition. And to find out more, please visit, again, as I said, ontario.ca/student nutrition. And before I conclude, I also want to express my heartfelt thanks for the excellent work undertaken by First Nations communities to deliver the First Nations Student Nutrition Program. Thank you again to the local agencies, school boards, community partners, farmers and food producers, as well as the countless volunteers who work hard every single day to deliver the Student Nutrition Program and the First Nations Student Nutrition Program. You are the heart and foundation of these programs, and we thank you. I would now like to call up my colleague, the Minister of Education, the Honourable Stephen Lecce, to say a few words. Minister Lecce.
Well, thank you. Good morning. It is amazing to be here with my friend Michael Parsa and with the amazing volunteers at the Student Nutrition Program. I just want to first off say thank you to Minister Parsa. This has been an area of personal leadership for him to make sure that young people in this country have ability to have healthy, nutritious food. And I think we could agree as Canadians that is not a luxury, but it is a necessity for a young person in Ontario schools. So I'm very grateful to you, Michael, for all you do and for the great sense of care you bring to this ministry. So thank you for your leadership. It is, a priority of our government, and I'm so grateful to be joined by the Ontario Public School Board Association and many others who are with us who've been long-standing advocates for government, community, private enterprise to come together to support these kids most in need. And in a prosperous country like Canada, students should not be coming to school hungry. Proper nutrition is foundational for children to be more prepared to learn and to participate in classrooms and to thrive in extracurricular activities. And I wish to thank our community organizations and the Minister of Children and Community and Social Services for this up to $10 million investment, a 15% increase to ensure that over 1 million children have access to nutritious food. But we know we must do more. We know how critical nutrition programs are for a growing child and how nutritious meals can make a significant difference in setting students up for their long-term success. And it's why our government just a year ago mandated experiential food literacy education and healthy eating for every grade from grade 1 to grade 12 to ensure students make smart and healthy decisions, to empower them to be more personally responsible, while we're also enhancing learning on the perils of vaping, of drugs, and unhealthy foods. So today our government is stepping up again and delivering on our commitments to continue to raise the bar in student learning, allow them to focus in the classroom on reading and writing and math and STEM education and the skills they will need to succeed in the jobs of the future. So thank you to the trustees for your advocacy and leadership, as well as to the many community organizations and for the incredible volunteers, some who are with us today, for leading the way and helping us raise over $5 million to ensure all students can get a good start to their day with a healthy, nutritious meal. And with that, I'd like to welcome Alysa Smith, the Program Supervisor of Community Health and Wellness for the Six Nations Health Services, to say a few words. Thank you so much.
Sego Sewagwego, Alysa Smith, Young Gats. I'm a Mohawk Turtle from Six Nations of the Grand River Territory. I am the Program Supervisor at Six Nations Health Services under Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council. So since the First Nations Student Nutrition Program has been operating on the territory, our student population has doubled. So we're now serving over 20 a day. And this funding ensures that nutritious food is available to elementary school students on the territory. And I just want to point out 2 of those schools are immersion schools, so that means our children are learning one of our languages at these schools. And then we also service high schools off the territory. So what we do, we provide nutritious snacks and meals for children in the community. So this creates equality in the way it's offered. So it's not singling any one child out for experiencing food insecurity at home, which is key. It creates cultural connection by introducing and reaffirming the importance of Haudenosaunee foods within our diets. It introduces a variety of food options to expand curiosity and creativity in children's relationships with food. And it also stays true to our Ongwe Howe ways, sharing meals together that are inclusive, that are, consider everyone. And then we consider, of course, allergies and intolerances within that. So I just want to say nyawa to the Government of Ontario and for the continued support of this integral program over the last 8 years. But I also want to emphasize the need to expand the partnership to ensure funding supports for increasing needs beyond this year, because as we all know, every child does matter. Nyawa.
Good morning. My name is Peter Kendall. I'm the Executive Director of the Shad Foundation. We're a family foundation that's focused on environmental education, biodiversity conservation, and access to nature. What a great morning that is, and what a great announcement. Thank you, Minister. Through my work at the foundation, I've come to understand the critical benefits of student nutrition programs. As mentioned earlier, these programs provide our kids with not only the nourishment they need, but also a foundation for their academic success, physical well-being, and healthier lifelong eating habits. But of course, none of these remarkable impacts would be possible without the schools, community partners, and volunteers whose dedication and passion are the driving force behind these programs. So thank you to all these groups, for the work that you do. Over this past summer, the Shad Foundation partnered with Minister Parsa and his office to host a roundtable of stakeholders to discuss the student nutrition program and how we can better serve the students who use it. Following this roundtable, we've had the privilege of working with the Minister and some of the other partners here today, including the Errol Family Foundation, Breakfast Clubs of Canada, the Grocery Foundation, and Student Nutrition Ontario on this exciting funding partnership. So thank you to all of you for all of your hard work over the past few months. I know how incredibly difficult it is to find funds outside of a budget cycle, and to do so in such an incredibly short period of time. So thank you again for that, Minister. But also thank you for inspiring us to do more as well and to dig deeper. And dig deeper we have, as the Minister pointed out earlier, the Errol Family Foundation, the Peter Gilligan Foundation, the Maple Leaf Foods, the Maple Leaf Foods Center for Action on Food Security, the Honourable Margaret McCain, the Sprott Foundation, and our foundation, the Shad Foundation, have collectively pledged over $1.6 million already to this campaign. So it's off to a great start. And I really thank all of those funders for your contributions. They're going to make a huge difference for students this coming year. But I'd also like to extend a special thank you to Laurel Errol and her foundation, who really took the lead on the fundraising on this project so far. So great job, and thank you, Laura. So that brings this event to a close, and with that, I'd like to hand it over to Patrick Bissett, Press Secretary for the Minister of Children, Communities and Social Services, to lead the press conference.
Good morning, everybody. As Peter pointed out, we're going to turn to questions and answers now. So the format will be one question, one follow-up. And if you could just clearly state your name and your press association when you ask your question, that would be appreciated. Thank you. I think Jack probably has a question.
Hi there, Jack Howen for Minister Lecce. The Indigenous Public School Board trustees from the OPSBA say they've been trying to get a meeting with you. Sent you a letter in August since you didn't attend the yearly in-person meeting in Toronto. Is that something you plan to do?
They had a funding request for the province to support students, trustees to attend a conference. I was proud to deliver a communication to the president of the Indigenous Trustees Association, to Elaine, confirming that the province would be providing the funding for them. I've attended meetings regularly with this council. We value their contributions and collaboration, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again shortly. I think they've extended an invitation to meet with them. We've met with them on weekends and weekdays, really whenever we can, whenever they're in town in Toronto. Our aim to work with them, even just on the heels of our the day of past Saturday, where we obviously pulled our contributions to reconciliation. One of the big priorities was that they advocated for was the inclusion of the grade 1 to 3 social studies curriculum modernization to include residential schools knowledge. And of course, the Minister of Indigenous Affairs and I, a few years ago, announced that we were going to do that, and this September we've completed that, and that's another step forward, part of our commitment to reconciliation.
Thanks. And the TVO union was at Queen's Park the other day. One thing they said was that they suspect that maybe the government has given management a number not to go over since management's offer hasn't really changed. Is that true? And how involved is the government with these negotiations, if at all?
I am not involved as minister. This is led through the Treasury Board. What I can simply affirm is that the minister responsible and myself are very committed to seeing all the parties come together. We demonstrated to the people of Ontario that even if we have differences, we can put them aside in the interest of children, as we just did a week ago with one of the largest public sector unions in the education space, OSSTF. We signed an agreement on a pathway to avert a strike, keep kids in school. We want that spirit to prevail. We hope the parties can come together and get a deal so we can see the continuity of these services that have helped a lot of kids, particularly when it comes to math, online, and other tutoring supports that I know many children want to continue to receive this year. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Any other outlets? Please come up to the microphone. Thank you. And if you could just state your name, please.
My name is Jennifer Johnson, and welcome all of you here this morning. I thank Roman for making all of this possible, especially for the kids in the mornings at breakfast time. My concern is I'm not sure, I don't know about finances with the government and so on and so forth. But I know what my Minister of Education promises that you will fulfill. Can you see if you can find anywhere in the budget to just dip a little deeper so we can get a little more? Because we have kids, but when the program time comes, sometimes when they arrive, there's nothing for them to receive. And you could see the sadness on the parents' face, and then they talk negative. And sometimes myself, I have to speak positive things to them, to come a little early, do a little this, do a little that. But honestly, I know you guys will do the best you can, and I really appreciate you coming here this morning. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much for that. I really appreciate it. You know, this, I can tell you as the minister responsible, I've at this portfolio for about 6 months now. And one of the first things I did when I became the minister, I met with Minister Lecce and I asked all the partners who are involved in this program, because the spirit of this program is a collaboration between, as you can see, communities, businesses, all levels of government coming in to work together. And it's so important for us to do that, because I've said this many, many times, and I'll say it again. You know, kids might be a small percentage of our population. They're 100% of our future. And we need to do everything we can, work together in a collaborative effort to make sure that they succeed and they thrive in our communities. All of us, every single one of us. This is the second time we've increased this program, the funding in this program, in the last few months. This is a significant increase in the funding of this program. And again, I want to take this opportunity to thank all the partners who have stepped up to help us. That's the way we do this. I always say we live in the best province in the greatest country in the world. We can only remain that way if we don't leave anyone behind. Thanks very much for your comments.
That concludes our press conference. I want to thank everybody for coming, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.